Hi, Flosstube. I'm Erin. This is the Two Martini Stitcher. This is Flosstube number 1. Maybe. We'll see if I even post this. Perhaps. But I was thinking that this would be kind of a fun thing to do because I've fallen down a bit of a cross-stitch rabbit hole the past few months, and just found Flosstube in the past month or so. Have been binging so many of your wonderful episodes and seeing what everybody's doing, and I don't really have any stitchy friends where I live or in real life, and you guys all just seem so fun. I want to come play in the Flosstube land. So a little bit about me. I'm Erin, and I live in the beautiful Pacific Northwest, just outside of Seattle, Washington. I've been here. I've lived here. I'm from the Midwest originally. And I've lived up here for over 20 years with my husband. We've been married 21 years. Just had our anniversary. We have 3 daughters who are fantastic. My oldest is graduating next month, and I can't even believe that that's happening. And they're all teenagers. So we have 3 teenage daughters. So mom needs something to keep her sane, and lately it's been cross-stitch. I learned to cross-stitch when I was in middle school, probably. I was maybe 10. 11, 12, something like that. My mom was a cross stitcher. She doesn't really cross stitch anymore, and so was my aunt. I actually have a fantastic sampler that my aunt did for me for my college graduation. Maybe sometime I'll have to get that out and show you. I'm actually in my dining room, and can you guys see this? Look at this huge wall with nothing on it. I'm the worst at decorating. But maybe I'll turn this into cross-stitch wall. That'd be so exciting. But maybe at some point I'll get down the sampler that my aunt did for me. So it kind of runs in the family. And my mom was a Girl Scout leader, was one of my Girl Scout leaders, along with one of her friends who's also super creative and talented and also a needle worker. And so I think we did a badge. I don't know if it was a cross-stitch badge or just an arts and crafts badge, but they taught our troop how to cross stitch, and I really liked it. And I did some things when I was, a kid in school, and I did some stuff for my grandparents that have now come back to live with me. I'll maybe find those too at some point to show you. And then I went to college and didn't have time for that anymore. And when I first moved out here after school and was married, I picked it back up a little bit, and I did a few things. I've never kept anything. This is something you guys should know. I've never kept a single cross stitch thing that I've done for myself. Never. So I'm working on one that I am for sure keeping. I'll show you guys all of my whips in a little bit, but it was just always something that you did for other people, that you gave away. And so I've always given everything I've ever made away, even up until this month, until recently. I've just always made them for other people, which maybe explains my big blank wall. So I know I did a couple things when I was first married and out of school, didn't have kids. I know I did something for my mother-in-law and a couple other people. And then that was it. The only other cross stitch that I have done, then I started having kids. And so the only cross stitch I had done in the past 17 years was my girls' Christmas stockings. Because my aunt, the one who did the beautiful sampler for me, made my Christmas stocking for me when I was a little girl. And I love it, and I still have it and still use it. And I wanted to do them for my daughters. And it took me 16 years to do all 3 of theirs. They were done from kits, beautiful dimensions, gold collection kits. There's a big story because my youngest, I finished hers before I finished my middle daughter's. Maybe come Christmas time when I pull them out, I'll show them to you and tell you the story of how my youngest got hers before my middle daughter. We put a few bucks in her therapy jar for her, since she didn't get a stocking for a long time. But then when I finished their stockings, I was like, I still kind of like cross stitching, but I don't have anything that I need to make or give away. And some friends of mine, a friend of mine, one in particular, who had seen me working on the girl stockings and frantically trying to finish my oldest before she graduated. I promised her she would have it done before she graduated in like 3 years. She's fine. She knew that I cross stitch, and she had sent me like just a little like Facebook article or something about subversive cross stitch, because I can be a little snarky. And I thought, oh, that's a thing. I didn't realize that was a thing, because I'm becoming, thanks to all you Flosstube enablers, I was not really like a sampler kind of girl. I liked cross stitching, but that's not really like my vibe in general. Although I'm changing my tune after seeing all the gorgeous things that you guys all make. So she sent me an article about subversive cross stitching, and I just thought that was hysterical. And I thought, well, I have to stitch a couple of those snarky sayings. And so I went on to Etsy and found some patterns, and I had never cross stitched from anything other than a kit before. Just hadn't. And I did a couple projects for friends. And if I figure out how to do the whole insert a picture thing, that seems super advanced. I'll figure that out. I'll maybe put up some pictures. But there are some pictures on my Instagram, which is also 2 Martini Stitcher, of some finished things I've done that were kind of nerdy, snarky things. And then I thought, I wonder if there's like a Facebook group for people who like to cross stitch. A Facebook group. That's what I thought. There might be one. You can all die of laughter now. I'll wait while you catch your breath laughing that I thought there was one Facebook group for cross stitchers. Yeah, I did find one that was like snarky, nerdy. That was really fun, and then immediately started filling up an entire folder on my cloud drive of cross stitch patterns, because then I immediately became a hoarder of cross stitch patterns. And that group led me to Magical Stitches, because I love Harry Potter. I am such a huge fan. And so that was it. There I fell into the cross stitch internet rabbit hole, because I found out that there was a thing as Flosstube, and that there were all these other things that I needed in my life that I didn't even know I needed, like project bags and needle minders and grime guards. I had never done anything but stitch in hand. Go figure. And that was it. Now I'm in. I am full in. But as I said, I don't have any friends that stitch. Although I think I might be influencing at least one or two to try it out. So I'm so excited that there are Facebook groups, many Facebook groups, and all of you wonderful people out there to enable me. So I thought I'd jump in and maybe we could be friends who cross stitch. Yay. So that's a little bit about me. And now I'm going to show you the things that I'm working on now, because I joined Magical Stitches in the middle of March. I think middle of March. It's not been very long. I think I've done like 6-7 weeks of homework. And I went from having like 2 things that I was working on to, I don't know. I'm only going to show you the things that I actually have stitches in. And then I have already, the patterns are piling up. They're piling up already. And I have some things kitted. I've found out about Mania. I followed the rabbit hole to Mania like the last week in April. And I'm an uber planner. Like, I like things planned out. I like spreadsheets. I like notebooks and journals and calendars. So I felt like it was that's too soon. That's in like a week. I can't pull that together. Except I thought, well, I could do like 5. I could do 5 new starts. I could do like 1 a week because I have enough stuff kitted or almost kitted that I could do that. So that's kind of what I'm doing this year. And so I have some stuff ready to go for that. So I'll show you guys what I've been working on. And yeah, that'll be fun. So the first thing I want to show you guys is where I really started to lose my mind, because I mean, really, I did a couple stockings and a couple small, like little small cute things. But I saw this pattern, Harry Potter, of course, and it's huge and it's full coverage. And I thought, sure, I can do that, right? I mean, I would consider myself maybe an intermediate stitcher. Like I can do fractionals and stuff, but I'm now ready to tackle all the things. You guys all can train me up. I can tackle all the things. So this first one, I don't know when I'll finish it ever, but I'm keeping this. This will be for me. I might hang it on this wall. It'd probably go in my bedroom, let's be honest. But it is a huge full coverage design by Fox and Teacup Designs. I printed it out. And it's like the 7 Harry Potter book covers all kind of spliced together. And this is where I'm at on it. I'm in Browntown, but you can actually see and look, Harry Potter Needle Minder, Harry Potter Grime Guard. You guys are all a wonderful, wonderful influence. I watched a bunch of YouTube videos about parking because as I said, I don't only ever stitched anything in hand. And I was like, pick a color, kind of go until the thread runs out, and I quickly up here figured out that was not going to work. And so I watched a whole bunch of videos about parking. Look, I've even figured out how to feather the edge. YouTube's a beautiful things, folks. Because I didn't initially, and I can't tell, I don't know if you guys will be able to tell. I can't tell if you can just see the grid line behind this yellow here, or if it's like a line because I wasn't feathering. Either way, I'm not really worried about it because it'll all come out in the wash. And I figure if as I go on, it looks better and better, it'll be a nice record of how I got better at stitching. This next kind of column, I need to figure out what I'm doing because you can see the feathering's not going to work so well because I'm going to be changing colors kind of right there. So I think because my plan is the page goes to here. That's where the page break is. But I really want to stitch one cover at a time. I think that'd be fun. That's my plan, is to stitch one cover at a time. So I'm thinking if I end up with a column line along the book cover seams, that'd be okay because it'd be kind of like how they're lined up on a bookshelf or something. Not that you would see the covers lined up on a bookshelf, but I don't know. I'm going to go with I think that'll be okay. What do you guys think? I don't know. Let me know if that's a horrible, horrible idea from you more experienced stitchers. So for my birthday, now we're going to go to something that I'm definitely giving away. Definitely giving away. I've now also never stitched on anything but Ada. I know there was other things in the world. Just didn't know. Until I started watching Flosstube and all of your beautiful things. And a friend of mine gave me this book for my birthday, but I got it last month because I didn't see her until, I don't know, my birthday's at the end of March. And she gave me this book a few weeks ago, Ultimate Cross Stitch Projects, Colorful and Inspiring Designs from Maria Diaz. And she's got some pretty stuff in here. There's a whole bunch of floral stuff. There's animal patterns. It's kind of a glare. I had to turn a light on because Seattle. It's dark. It's still kind of gray. And it's evening because that's when I have time to do it. And flipping through here, this one I thought was really pretty. This Remembrance Fields. That one I might have to do. The Fields of Poppies. That's pretty. I just love that color. Can you tell? But flipping through this book, this one jumped out at me. Praying Hands. Not because this is my jam. The sepia tone thing. I mean, I was attracted to the subversive cross stitch, so you can probably guess that the Praying Hands sepia thing is not necessarily my gig. But I get to go see my grandmother in Indiana in July, and when I saw that, I thought of my grandmother. She would love that. So I'm making it for her and decided that it would be my first try on non-Aida fabric. And it would be my first time stitching over 2 because it's my grandma, and if it doesn't look perfect, she's not going to care. She's just going to be thrilled. So this is what I have so far. This is, wait, I wrote it down. It's a 28 ivory Lugana. I did go with an even weave. I decided I was not jumping in the deep end with full-on linen. So I did try an even weave on some very good advice from Facebook interweb stitchers. So this is what I have so far. I think I like it. I really like stitching on the even weave, especially because I did put in a Q-snap because it's so big and I needed to deal with like the extra fabric and stuff. But mostly small stuff, I've tried it. I've tried hoops. I still like stitching in hand. And so I like the feel of the fabric and how easy it is to kind of roll up. I maybe shouldn't have started with a piece that is seriously like 5 colors that are all very similar. And one of them you can see is practically the color of the fabric. So what I figured out, because I do have a degenerative cornea thing, so I don't have the best eyesight. I mean, it's fine, but it's not great. It's not getting any better. Daylight. Working on this in daylight. And I think if the colors were more contrasting to the fabric, I would be able to stitch on it at night by like a lamp. But I'm doing better and not having to take out nearly as much since I started stitching on the daylight. So I'm trying to do 100 stitches a day because I did some calculations. And if I'm going to get that puppy done, I always look at these patterns and think, oh, that'll be quick. I have another one that I'll say that about, and you'll be like, you're crazy. Why did you think that would be quick? I thought, oh, that'll be quick, and I'll stitch that up and take it to my grandmother in July. And I finally looked at the pattern pretty closely and did like kind of a little rough calculation. Thought, I better aim for 100 stitches a day just to give me plenty of time to get it washed and framed and all that good stuff. So that's going to be for my grandmother. And then I have a few other things that I've started for Magical Stitches homework that I have hanging out on my whip list there. This one is New York City by Awesome Pattern Studio. And this came in, you guys might have seen it. There's a cross stitch calendar for this year that had a whole bunch of this style of patterns. There's one for every month. So it came with all 12 patterns. I started New York mainly because my middle daughter and my youngest daughter are dancers. And they compete on a team with their studio. And my middle daughter wants to be a dancer. Like, that's her dream. She auditioned for the Rockettes Summer Intensive and got in. And so I'm taking her to New York this summer, and she's going to dance, and I'm going to see a bunch of Broadway shows, and it's going to be fantastic. So I started stitching up New York. I bought the calendar because they also have Seattle. Hometown girl. It's really cute. I will stitch Seattle at some point. I think one of my daughters really wants, there's a sea turtle. There's a bunch. Maybe I'll get it out and show it to you sometime. I don't know that you care. But so I started with New York City. That's the first one I've done out of that. And it's all DMC floss. That's the other thing. I've never stitched with anything besides DMC, but I did get, in an order I placed, my very, very first overdyed floss this past week, a couple days ago. So I'm so excited. Seriously, I'm a newbie, guys. You're going to get to see me do all kinds of new things for the first time. But this is where I am so far on New York City. And I'll probably be working on this more again soon because it fits into an extra credit for this month with mode of transportation because there's little taxi cabs. So I'll be using this for an extra credit, but it's pretty. That's fun. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it's fun. Maybe I'll stitch on it in New York this summer. Who knows? Okay, what else? What else do I have actually started? This one, oh shoot. I couldn't find the picture. Find it on my phone. I know I have it on my phone. Because this pattern I got off Etsy and it didn't have, like when it came in the pattern, it did not have, it didn't come with like a picture of what the pattern looks like finished, but I know I took a screenshot of it off of the Etsy listing. I'm pretty sure I did. Yes. So this is from 1,000 Tiny X's on Etsy. And can you see that? Kind of have a glare. It's the sign from The Good Place that says, welcome, everything is fine. You are definitely not in the bad place. My family loves that show. It's one of the things that we all watch together. And I have the perfect spot for it in my entryway. It's going in my entryway. Welcome, everything is fine. So this is how far I am on that. It's nice. I used this quite a bit when the Quidditch World Cup, because I'm a slow stitcher, because I'm pretty new. But this I could go a little faster on because there's no, there's no thread changes and it's just big blocks of color. And I also take that when I go to dance competitions because it's harder to screw up. I can sit and work on that and only partially pay attention to it. So there's that one. This one is the other one that I told you I thought would be a really quick stitch. And my daughter saw it, my youngest saw it, and said, will you make that for me? She's like, I love that. Will you make that for me? How do you say no to that? And this was a freebie in, like, a member had asked the artist, had gotten in touch with the artist and asked, one of my Facebook groups had gotten in touch with the artist of this cartoon and had asked if they could make a cross stitch pattern. And he said, yeah, do it. And they shared it for free. It's the Little Dog on Fire cartoon, which I think is hysterical. Like, it's one of my favorite cartoons anyway. And I showed it to my youngest and she said, will you make that for me? And I said, sure. And in my head, I thought, yeah, I can stitch that up for you, baby girl, because that'll be quick. Why? Why would I think that would be quick? It's not quick. It's so not. This is how far I am on it. So I'm in the second panel, and I'm not going to lie, I'm having dreams of just doing that panel, just the one that says this is fine, and calling it a day. Because this color palette, the big blocks of color, I don't love stitching it. Not gonna lie. But I told my baby girl I'd do it for her. So I'm gonna do it. We'll see if she gets both panels or just one. Might be just one. And then the last thing that I've actually started is all you lovely people that do all these like kits, because I still love a kit. I clearly have managed to stray away. I mean, you can see that the last couple ones I showed you, the New York, the welcome sign, the dog on fire, that's all on Ada. It's all 16 count, I think, because they all called for 16 count, or they might have called for 14, but I don't love the look of 14. It's too, I don't know. You have to do 3 strands, I think, for me to get good coverage, and I don't like it to do that because that just seems like a lot of work to pull out 3 strands. So those are all 16 count, but I see all you people do these amazing things with like beads, and I do love a good kit. And one of the things that I keep looking at are these like little Mill Hill kits, because they have like fun beads and little charms and stuff. And I thought, well, that might be a good way to like try out those skills. Some of them are done on like that perforated paper. And I thought, I don't know. So what I did was I got a tiny little one, because I love, like, fall is my favorite season. So therefore I love Halloween. Like, I don't necessarily love Halloween because Halloween, but I love fall. So I saw this little guy, and we have a black kitty named Leo that my oldest loves. And this, like, it's a little magnet. And these little kids, you guys know, they come with everything. And so I thought, well, this would be a good way to try it out before I like buy all the ones that I think are pretty, because I think I'm pretty sure I have 20 of them on my wish list for 1, 2, 3 stitch. I don't know. So this is how far I am on this. So this was like my first like mania start. Was it my first one? No, I lied. Did I lie? My first one was the praying hands for my grandmother. That was my first one. That was the first week. And then this was my second week. I've been starting them on Wednesdays. So today is Wednesday. Probably supposed to say that at the very beginning. I'm filming this on Wednesday, May 15th. Oh, I haven't even really had, like, I just poured a glass of wine. I haven't even had like 2 martinis. I'll get better at this, I promise. Please come back and see me again, and I promise I'll get better. I've been starting my mania starts on Wednesday because they're the one day a week that I have the house to myself for a few hours. My oldest is going to be coming home here probably in about half an hour from work. And the other 2 are at dance. My middle and my youngest, they're always at dance. And my husband works late and picks them up later in the evening. So Wednesdays are I like have a little uninterrupted time by myself at home. So that's when I've been doing my new starts. So this was last week's, and maybe you can see. Can you see? Oh, there we go. So that's how much I got done. And you know what? Perforated paper is kind of fun. I mean, especially like because I'm used to stitching in hand, I don't know, it's kind of fun. So I haven't gotten to any of the beading part yet because you have to do all the stitching first. But I'm getting there, and we'll see how it goes. But so far I like it. And I started this last Wednesday, and I may have already ordered another little 5x5 kit. See, when you come from like nothing, you got to buy a lot of stuff. And it was like Mother's Day and our anniversary. So, and my husband is a doll. You'll learn. He's a doll, and he puts up with like all my brand of crazy. He just does his thing and says, sure, honey, whatever. So that's it. That's all I have started so far, and that's what I'm working on. I did this already for the first homework this week for Magical Stitches. You had to work from your WIP album, and I had less than 17, obviously, even though I had some stuff in there that is kitted and it's not started. So I had to work on projects 1 and 7. So this was project 1, and I've already done my 300. I actually did 400 stitches in this. Because I'm working on 100 in 10 by 10 squares, it's just easier. Just any extra stitching is good. And my number 7 happened to be a new mania start for me, so it worked out perfect. And I'm going to start it tonight. I'm so excited. This is from. It's from an Etsy shop. And I know I have my list that says, here we go. I'm going to get more prepared. I promise. Where is it? Where is my list? Here it is. Okay. The designer is Anastasia Imanova. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. On Etsy. And it is this Friends collage. I love Friends. I love Harry Potter. I love Friends. I pretty much just, anytime I just want something on in the background, I put on Friends. If it ever goes on off Netflix, I actually have the entire box set on DVD, but that seems like a lot of work now to put it in a DVD when you can just stream on Netflix. So I pretty much just watch the whole series, and then when I'm done, I start back at the beginning again, and my family thinks it's ridiculous, but I saw this and I had to have it. It's something else that I will actually keep for me. And so I'm starting this today. Yay! And I am doing this on, it's DMC. It calls for DMC and Ada, and I'm doing it on white 16, I'm pretty sure 16 count Ada with all the DMC flosses. But it's cute. I love it. I mean, look at this. It has the duck and the chick, for heaven's sakes. So cute. So that is this week's start. And then I have 2 more things kitted up ready to start for Mania. And we'll see if they fit in with Magical Stitches homework in the next couple weeks. Then I will do that. Otherwise, I'll just start whatever I feel like. The first one is a pattern from Plastic Little Covers. She's one of my favorites on Etsy. You should check out her shop. She does some pretty things. She does some snarky things, which is how I found her. But she'll also do custom requests. So this is actually a pattern that she did custom for me. But if you love it and want it, shoot her a message. I'll shoot her a message and say, hey, sell it to somebody else who wants it. This is for my daughter. I'm making this, which is how I need to get started so I can finish it. And I'm going to finish it into a pillow. I'm going to try sewing. I have a sewing machine. My oldest uses it way more than I do. She's pretty handy on a sewing machine. She makes some of her own like cosplay stuff, cosplay outfits, and she's pretty handy on a sewing machine. So maybe she'll help me finish her pillow. But I'm doing this for her to take with her to college in the fall to put it in her dorm room. And it says, text your mom. So maybe at least once a week when she's moving that pillow around off of her bed or whatever, she'll think, maybe I'll actually text my mom. So I need to get that started, and I'm doing that on Antique White Ada. And it's just DMC floss. She normally charts in Anchor, and then there's always a DMC conversion, but since I only have DMC, so she just did DMC for me. So text your mom. So that I'm starting either next week or the week after. And then my last Mania start. And then you guys are probably gonna be like, I'm tired of listening to this girl ramble. She doesn't even know what she's talking about. I'm almost done, I promise. This, you can totally see the internet rabbit hole influence here. Because this one is, I'm super excited about. Silver Creek Samplers. It's called Christmas List. My Christmas List. But like, look at how sticky. I was like, I'm not a sampler person. You should see how many samplers I have on my wish list now. But how cute is this? I mean, look at the little sweater and little gingerbread men. I'm very excited. Now, I bought this, and it calls for all DMC. So that was one of the reasons why I was not intimidated. Look, I've got them all ready to go. Look at that. But I kitted this up before I got brave enough to do anything on non-Ada. So I think it calls for 32 count Cocoa even weave. And I bought, this is 16 count Ren from Picture This Plus. So it's Ada. I'm not venturing that far. If I were to kit it up again, I probably would get an even weave, but I think that it'll be pretty. I think it'll be pretty on this. So I looked at what the cocoa is probably a little more brown than this, but I think it's going to be really pretty. So that's what I'm doing it on. I may give this to my brother and sister-in-law because I think that she would love it. Or I might stitch it up and decide I need to stitch it again and keep on. It's entirely possible. Or I have a wish list of 1,000 different Christmas patterns. So who knows? But that's going to be my last mania start is Silver Creek samplers, my Christmas list. And I'll start that either next week or the week after. We'll see. One of the two. And in the meantime, I'm just going to be doing homework and hopefully getting the praying hands done. Now, the only last thing I have to tell you is because I am new and I've only ever bought things online. I started buying patterns just on Etsy. And then you guys led me to all the lovely online shops like 123 Stitch and Threads and Twined. And I have bought, I have patterns. I have big stitching plans. But I wanted to, there's some patterns that I've bought that I want to make sure that my skills are up to doing. But I just had to have the patterns. But I haven't gone to an actual shop yet. And there's one kind of close by to me, but it looks really tiny. I'll probably go pop in. It's not on my way anywhere. It's not something that I would naturally pass by. I'll have to go out of my way to go, but it's probably about a half an hour for me. However, this weekend, I'm so excited. This weekend, actually tomorrow night, I'm leaving tomorrow night, my two dancing daughters have their very last convention, of the season, their big dance competition convention in Portland, Oregon. And I tell that there is a fantastic LNS in Portland, Acorns and Thread. So I am hoping that while they're taking their classes, I can sneak away. I mapped it. I think it's only like 15, 20 minutes from the convention center. So I'm hoping to sneak over there. And if I get that opportunity, I will probably be coming home with a lot of stuff. Because for Mother's Day, my dear, wonderful husband was like, what would you like for Mother's Day? And I said, I would like to go to this needle workshop when I'm in Portland and buy some things. And he said, that sounds fantastic. Do that. So we'll see. So if I get the chance to go over there, which I'm really hoping I am, sorry, hair's bugging me. I'm really hoping I get the chance to get over there. I'm going to make it happen. And my friend who bought me the Cross Stitch magazine, I think she's starting or she wants to start cross stitching. So I think I'm going to take her with me. So there might be lots of stuff to show next week and I might be back. We'll see. But in the meantime, I hope you guys are having a wonderful week and I'm so excited to be here and cheers.